Welcome to day 12. You are officially on the home stretch. Today is going to be incredibly not only transformative for you, but maybe also for me, because I'm going to pull back the curtain on a lot of things, the thought process behind this entire book, the entire concept of knowing my worth and how this all came to be. And really, I think the most interesting part of all of this is that it came from such trials in my life, or at least that's what they felt like at the time whenever I was going through it, and it felt so difficult and so impossible, and I came out on the other side with something beautiful. So my point in this is, if you're struggling right now with anything in life, big or small, and it almost all seems to be compounding into one, I understand how you feel. In this moment, it might feel completely impossible to conquer, but on the other side of this, I promise it's going to be incredible. So let's talk about knowing your worth. Knowing your worth means working on your dreams instead of your boss's dreams. It means setting big personal goals for yourself and those that you love most. It means understanding that you are more than capable of creating multiple streams of income and achieving true freedom. Knowing your worth means being in it for the long haul and not chasing trends or the allure of being an influencer on TikTok. It means being able to build a smart business that allows you to grow your income even while you sleep. This chapter stems from the genuine belief that transparency and self-worth are key. When you decide to draw a line in the sand and step away from anyone or any situation that sells you short or takes advantage of you, the game changes. When you finally pause, take notice, and walk away from any company, boss, situation, opportunity, or business where your time, energy, integrity, or skill is being undervalued or disrespected, imagine the growth possibilities that lie ahead. As someone who once decided to walk away and start believing in herself a little bit more, I can tell you that life gets pretty freaking epic. And I know for a fact that it will be for you too. You've got this, go get 'em. So it's very interesting to me that this book really went in the same timeline as I did with what I had to conquer, what I went through, what I felt was a huge roadblock, from my mindset to imposter syndrome, and then being able to understand, no, this is how much I'm worth by the hour, and me hopping on Zoom calls or doing different tasks for everybody but myself and just saying yes to everybody else was completely undervaluing who I was, and I was doing it to myself. Well, yes, it was coming from external sources, and I just kind of woke up one day and thought, what the heck are you doing? You're worth more than this. You don't have to say yes to everybody just because they want either your energy, your time, your attention, your knowledge, whatever it might be. It could be a skill set that you have and you just keep saying yes. But every time that you do that, just like it chips away when you go against your values, this is a core value. It's your worth. So when you start saying yes to one too many things and you undervalue how much you're worth, you're chipping away at that confidence, and you're chipping away at how much space and energy you can give to the things that truly matter to you. So let's talk about it. If you were to take a couple steps back right now, how do you feel about the energy, the growth in your life, the success that you're seeing? And one question that made me stop in my tracks was, to what end? What is this all for? Like what you're doing right now, what you're seemingly killing yourself doing, if you look at the last 24 hours and how much you did for everybody else and for yourself, and I mean setting boundaries for yourself too, because at the end of the day, it's going to be you and you alone. You're the CEO of your own life. You're the one that's going to make the decisions. But what you're allowing, the precedents that you're setting, what you're allowing into your life, what you're saying yes to, what you're okay with, but you're really not okay with. To what end? What's it all for? Is it for more money? Do you really need that extra money? Is it for respect? Do you really need that person's respect? Is it to avoid that person being upset with you? Is it to be liked? To what end? What are you doing it for? And if it's not something that will make you or those you love most happier, then don't do it. I went through so many years of saying yes to so many different things and trying to help people that just took advantage. It worked for them. It was going really well for them. And what's very interesting with this is and fair warning, when you do start to take steps back, it's really interesting because people don't like it because they don't get a free ride anymore. So be warned that you are not responsible for someone else's success, someone else's happiness, someone else's knowledge, someone else's skill set, someone else's growth. It's not your life. You're not responsible for them. You didn't birth them. If you did, you might have set boundaries with that too, but that's a whole other situation. But if it's a boss, a coworker, a friendship that has been going on for far too long that just really is very one-sided and not in your favor, then maybe it's time to reassess. So to what end? What level of success do you want? And what is all the hard work for? Like all the hard work that you're putting in right now, what's it for? I know this is going to be a hard one. And here's where you might get emotional. You might be looking at this and writing this down right now and being like, I don't know. Why am I doing this? Where am I? Like, what? And you may have just woken up. Good if you did. And it's going to sting. It's going to suck because you're going to feel like you just wasted a boatload of time on something. And I'm telling you, you didn't. Because some people will take them a lifetime to figure this out, or they won't ever figure it out. You just figured it out and you have so much life ahead of you and so much opportunity and growth. So I'm going to take out my vision page. This page. Why do you want that success? What is success to you? We talked about this the other day. Success can look so different to so many people. What does success look like to you? What is all your hard work for? And if you just stopped yourself in your tracks and went, whoa, the way I'm going right now is not leading to the success I want. The road I'm going down right now is just an endless loop. And you stop yourself. And that is the point of this entire series, is that you get way more real about how you're spending your time and where your energy and focus is going and on what goals. Because if you get to the end of the day and you're frustrated, imagine getting to the end of the week, the month, the end of this year, the end of next year. If you keep going in the wrong freaking direction, you might not realize it on a day-to-day, but when you stop and you think about it this way of to what end? Like why am I helping that person that just keeps wanting more? And it's a really good deal for them. Why are you doing it? Chances are it's to be liked. It could be in the imposter syndrome loop. It could be because you want to help fix their situation. If you're a fixer, I totally understand that. For the longest time, I made friends with people that they just needed to be fixed, and I thought that I could fix them, and I'm here to tell you that you can't. You can help as much as you can, and you can be a good friend and a good person, but you are not in charge of somebody's happiness. You can't. You have to focus on yourself first. You have to focus on your goals, especially if it's starting to affect your health, your happiness, your own family, the people that you love most. So if you're spending more time on someone else's goals than your own, I think that's the gut check for today. So what is a dream that you want to achieve? You, not what someone told you, but what is a dream that you want to achieve? And if that dream costs a certain amount of money, what could you do with that extra income? So if they go hand in hand, or just what would you do with extra income? If you had an extra $1,000 a week coming in, or let's dream big. What if you had an extra $10,000 a week coming in? What does that look like in life? Like what type of different life does that look like for you? Does it mean more freedom? Does it mean more peace, more calm? Being able to take a deep breath and spend more quality time with family and those you love most instead of the go, go, go and the hustle? And that's the biggest question for today. To what end? What are you doing this for? Who are you doing it for? And I really hope at the top of the list, it's you and your health. So one thing that I talk about in this chapter, and there's a reason why I'm wearing red today, the red chapter is the spicy chapter. So there is a moment in this chapter where I talk about the influencer trap, and it is the theme of the entire book. It's the theme of this entire series. If you go against your authentic levels of who you truly are, you are chipping away at your worth. You might look back a couple weeks from now or a month or a year from now and be like, why do I feel like this? And I feel so outside of myself. It's because you have gone against your core values. So when you are authentically yourself, you will always be happier. And this will translate into any income streams that you want to create. When it's not authentic and it's forced or it's money hungry, it's not going to work. You got to be motivated by something bigger. That's why I want you to go through your vision. To what end? And that's the North Star. What are you doing it all for? So, the trap. This will definitely be the theme of this chapter and today, as well as the entire book. Don't ever get sucked into doing things for dollars or for the title of being an influencer or anything else, any other title. The promotion, the carrot that someone might be dangling in front of you, the free stuff. If someone sends you free stuff, you're worth more than a free pair of leggings. I promise. You don't need to bend over backwards for a free pair of leggings. And by the way, I'm just going to put like a huge asterisk, the amount of reading into things that people do. I am not talking about a company that I'm currently or have ever worked with. I'm using leggings as an example. I love the companies that I'm currently working with. So it authentically needs to fit with your brand. More importantly than anything else, you authentically need to be using that product. So if you do want to create a source of income with a solution that you have created, the solution that I created for myself was the Glow Up Tracker, the Daily Grind, the way that I plan my day. These products were created through me just sketching them out in something that I authentically use every single day and I believe in to my core. That's why it clicked. It was the first business that I really ever launched that just kind of took off on its own. It didn't even need Angie to survive. It just went off and people loved it so much. And through word of mouth, it started to grow. And I think it's because it got people results, but it would have never taken off and would have never been a viable concept if I didn't authentically believe in it myself. So if you are authentically using the product and loving it, you're good. Otherwise, it'll never land with your audience. And it's just going to look super misleading. And it's going to feel misleading. It's going to feel ick. So if it feels ick, either in the way that you're spending your time from a day-to-day going after your goals, or the way that you're spending your time trying so hard to build something for yourself, either the promotion or a side hustle or whatever it is that you're trying to grow in that big goal, if it is going like this, it's because your polarity might be off. So if you got like the positive and a positive, or let's say a negative and a negative, it's not going to go. Because there's a lack of authenticity on the other side. It's just not going to work. You're going to constantly be butting heads with that goal. So make sure that it aligns and be very, very, very honest with yourself. So in this chapter, I talk about being in this for the long haul. That's another part of authenticity. If you authentically love and breathe something and it is such a passion of yours, then you're okay being in it for the long haul. You're okay putting in the extra hours. So this whole soft girl era trend, I think, is the biggest bundle of BS, because if you truly love what you freaking do in a day, there's no reason to sit on a couch and do nothing. If you love what you do, you can go ham at it. How about we go into the ham girl era? The soft girl era really is something that I think is a great way to lack progress over the span of a week, a month, a year. And people that go into that era, and I've seen people talk about this, and I talked about this on our vision board party, people that choose to go into that often land themselves in a heap of sadness, because it's the simplest equation. Progress equals happiness. No progress will equal a lot of sadness. So if that's what you're looking for, and no progress and just sitting on the couch literally doing nothing, I have an idea of what that looks like down the road. And again, to what end? What's it for? And I think that having balance and growth on projects and hobbies that matter to you and grow you, where you're growing your skills and you're working on your health, that is the furthest thing from a soft girl era. That is your villain era. That is you stepping into what you want for your time and not giving it to everybody else, but giving it to a TV show and a couch. It's not it either. So beware. This is the realest. This is one of the realest pages in the whole book. Beware. As you enter into this life of going after your goals, whether it's on social media, a side hustle, in your career, and you want the big promotion, whatever it is that you're going after, and usually it is a vision that is tied to a certain amount of income that you want. For something as little as a new bike for your kid or something as big as to buy your dream home on a ranch, whatever that goal is. Maybe you want a beach house and that's like your big freaking goal, but it will require income. And that's why we went through the last couple of days talking about your mindset towards income, because sometimes we want this big goal, but we're not willing to talk about income. And one's not going to work with the other. So to what end? But if you were to go after this goal and you almost feel like you are selling your soul daily, you got to beware, because it's a slippery freaking slope. So never forget to know your worth, your integrity, your potential reach. If you have an audience or even a group of friends or family and people that value your opinion and you start talking about it, that's reach. So don't undermine your reach, your integrity, your reputation, your values, and your capabilities. You are worth so much more than a couple free products. The exception to this rule: the person is your good friend, you like the product, you want to help them grow, and you expect nothing in return. I still do this for a couple brands. I'm going to wear this one tomorrow. By the way, if you want to support a Canadian brand, I make nothing off of helping her. I love her. She's incredible. So Sewing Sweethearts is a Canadian brand, female owned. I love her. She's a friend. That is what I get out of it. I get to see her grow her business. And I have helped many brands do this in the past. My best friend owns she makes and fabrics her own pet leashes and all these different products. They have pet toys and treats. By the way, sorry if your dog heard that. Their TRs are Carl's favorites. But same friend, I get nothing out of it other than helping that person. Now, where the beware is if you start to do this for everybody and anybody and you start to be taken advantage of, and when you start to not do that anymore and they don't like it, it gets dicey. So when to stop, when to walk away, or when to never start promoting a company or to work for said company or to be affiliated with said company or even have your name associated. So this is when you walk away. And this is so real to my own life. And I have been questioned so much. And it was so hard, I think, to, like I said, to go through this in so many different avenues in my own life, big and small. And it almost all came to a halt at the same time where I said, no, I'm done. I don't want to be associated. My values, my reputation, what I'm capable of, my integrity do not match this situation at all, or where I see it being headed. So if the company is in some way inauthentic or misleading in any way, now none of these are necessarily what I went through. I just think that this is a really good guide to follow. Have I experienced some of these? Absolutely. It is not targeted at any specific situation. It is my own personal experiences. And never is this shade on anything. It's, to me, the biggest guide of life of wake up and smell the roses and recognize what's going on, that you don't have to be scared, that you are worth so much more than anything that jeopardizes your integrity. And if it goes against that little, your little Jiminy Cricket inside that is like, this doesn't feel very good, I don't think I should do this. Listen to that voice, because that would be your conscience. So if the company is inauthentic or in any way or misleading in any way, walk away. If you find out that a company is selling a faulty product, walk away. If the company is negative or polarizing in any way, walk away. If the company has terrible customer service and one too many of your followers has had a bad experience, and this can go for, by the way, if you're not on social media and you're thinking about your job, let's say the atmosphere at work is just less than stellar and you are seeing customer service with just an alarming amount of concerns, it might be time to self-reflect. If the company becomes entitled or demanding of your time, energy, skills, and or audience, walk away. If the company shares your content or personal information without your permission, walk away. If you feel at all like the company is taking advantage of you or making you feel unsafe in any way, walk away. You are worth more. And I promise what is on the other side of that very difficult situation is so much freedom and such a breath of fresh air. And I continue to learn this lesson I learned this lesson right up until the final hours of the new year. And on New Year's Eve, I don't think I shared this yet. On New Year's Eve, whenever, the vlog where when the fireworks are going off, there's a reason why I filmed the whole thing, because I was bawling. I couldn't stop crying. And it was such a feeling of happiness. I felt like, I don't know how else to explain it. And I explained this to Andre as best I could. First, I said, like, we conquered a lot this year. And he said, I know. And he said, are you okay? And I was like, not really. It was a huge wave of gratitude for all of the really crappy things that we went through that we never share, by the way. And I was so proud of us. But you know what it felt like? It felt like the really terrible, manipulative boyfriend finally left me alone, and it was done. That's what it felt like. It felt like a really needed breakup, and it was finally done. And I'm talking about, there's so many different things in my life that I'm talking about. I would say like 5 different situations. And it felt like that when the clock struck midnight this year on New Year's, and it was such a parallel because it would have been 3 or 4 years prior that we were just over the dock. So we were celebrating at the Polynesian Hotel in those little hut things. And this year we were at the Polynesian Hotel in those towers. And I could see it. And I was like, man, 3-4 years ago looked really different on this night. And we were celebrating something very different. And this year it just felt like I broke free. And it was just so emotional. And it was all good. It was so good. But it was just so much gratitude to be with friends and loved ones and celebrate just a breakup, but the best breakup ever. So I'm telling you, as your friend, you might need a breakup, because what it looks like on the other side is just so much freaking freedom. I did not expect for today to be this emotion. I'm so sorry. Okay. My final notes of beware. When a boss, a brand, an owner, a coworker, a employee, an employer, I'm trying to think of all of the different labels of people that you could potentially be associated with. You can spit them in the comments, by the way. If there's someone in your line of employment, in what you do for employment, that is in some way mistreating you, please, because you might help somebody else. When a brand owner, employer, employee, like a coworker mistreats you, or your audience, because your audience is a reflection of you. You guys might know this about me, I go mama bear. If you mess with our family, oh my Lanta, it's not going to be good for them. It's like it's my red flag. It's like my one thing and if that has to be my red flag, I'll do it, because I just go so protective over you guys. So whether it's on here or my main channel or in our daily grind group, like our support and accountability group, the level of protection and safe space that goes on in there and how seriously I take that is next level. So if they mistreat you or your audience, if they message you nonstop, if they have unrealistic expectations, if they are demanding, if they make you feel unsafe, it's time to walk away. Know your worth and keep moving forward. It is not your responsibility to ensure that the company has good customer service or a quality product. Never allow any brand to put that on your shoulders. As a creator or authentic sharer or an employee, it is not your job. It's my job at the Daily Grind to make sure that, but I own the company. If you own the company, it is your job. Would you ever put that on somebody else's shoulders? No, it's your job. And if you know your product inside out, you're probably golden. You are not the operator of their business, and you are not responsible for failed products, services, or any other failed part of their business. And that includes their happiness level. Focus on your happiness level. So I hope that today was the biggest gut check that you could have ever had. It was I figured it would be therapeutic for me, because sometimes, honestly, I feel like we're besties sitting having a cup of coffee. I saw this in the comments, I think it was yesterday, someone saying it felt like we were FaceTiming. That's what I wanted. I wanted you to be able to sit for 20 minutes or more daily and really go through this with me and fill out these pages and take notes and give this thinking time of, to what end? What are you going after, and why are you doing it, and who are you doing it for? And if the answer is anything but you and the ones you love most, then you gotta redirect. And that was the point of today. So if I was able to somehow like pick you up, shake you, give you a hug, and put you back down, and you were like, whoa, then I did my job and I'm happy. And just please know that this is a safe zone. If you need to talk, we've got you. If you're in the Daily Grind group, we've got you. It is such a safe space, and I promise I take that so seriously. So if today rattles you a little bit, please know that if you need to land somewhere and talk about it, the Daily Grind group has you, especially if you have the book or the planner, get in the Daily Grind group. It's like the best family ever. And like I said, we take it so seriously to make sure that we can maintain a safe space. So cheers to day 12. Tomorrow we are on to day 13, and then we are going to cap it off very strong. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for committing to you and sticking with this and being here today. You should be flippin' proud of yourself. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.